guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I asked you guys on my Instagram story to send me questions of what you would like to know about pregnancy and my pregnancy thus far. So I have a couple that I screenshotted to make sure that I answer, and there were quite a lot, so I'm going to try and get through as many as I can without making this a 20-minute video. If you guys are interested in this pregnancy Q&A, then just keep watching. So the first question I got is, how have you felt mentally? Do you feel like you have changed as a person from this process? I feel good mentally. I'm definitely drained and exhausted. Do I feel like this process has changed me as a person? Yes, 100%. I think I have had to learn patience, time management, and overall going with the wind. You can't really plan anything in pregnancy, and you can't really have everything that you want in a sense. Some people have really easy pregnancies and some people have very hard pregnancies, and you really can't say which one you're gonna get. This process has challenged me in giving up this sense of needing everything to be correct. I just gave it up to the universe, and I said, you know, if this is meant to be and if this is the process I'm going to be going through, then just give me the process. I'll handle it. I'll take care of it. And that's where we're at right now. But I do think it has changed me as a person. Next question I got is capsulating your placenta. I wanted to. In the very beginning, I really wanted to encapsulate my placenta into pills. Just because there was so many good things that were said about it. But the more scholarly research I do on it and read articles and journals, I've realized that there's really no scientific pros or scientific cons to doing it. It's more so word of mouth, and this is what people say based off of, you know, their experience with encapsulating their placenta. I just decided it's not really worth the money to do it. The next question that was asked is, are you able to sleep, like, at all? Because I'm a stomach sleeper and I don't know how. I'm a stomach sleeper too. I can definitely sleep. And let me tell you, third trimester and pregnancy in general, because my first trimester I was freaking tired, you're going to sleep. Like, you're going to get the rest that you need. It's just a matter of when you sleep and how long of stretches you sleep in, because as you keep going along, you have to, you know, wake up to pee and to turn and stuff like that. But you learn to deal with it. Some people still sleep on their stomach. Some people still sleep on their back, even though it's not recommended to do either of them. My sister gave me her pregnancy pillow that she had during her pregnancy, and I thank her for that times a million times, because it's the best thing ever, and it really does help me with the fact that I have to sleep on the side, because then it kind of makes me feel like I'm kind of like leaning on this pillow. I kind of still get the effect of like a half stomach sleep, but you just learn to deal with that. Someone asked, do you want more kids after this? Yes. But it's just a matter of how many and when. Pregnancy hasn't scared me away from having more kids. It's just a matter of how many and when, because right now 6 is kind of out the window. I don't want 6 anymore. I'm kind of okay with the thought of just 2 at this point. But who knows? Maybe I'll end at 4 and I'll call that the perfect number. Okay, I love this because somebody said sex, question mark, question mark, question mark. I know why this is asked, because that was my exact reaction when I found out I was pregnant. Was, okay, how does sex work? If I could describe pregnancy sex in 3 words, I would use complex, different, fun. And I know those are like words that you wouldn't really put together in most instances, but it's not necessarily that it is different. Like, it doesn't feel different. It is different because there's certain positions you can't do, certain things that are not recommended to do, and also some things just don't feel comfortable. Some people experience a decrease in their sex drive, some people experience an increase, some people experience nothing changing. So that's also something to look for if you are pregnant or are planning on being pregnant. Yeah, it's different, complex, and fun. That's the only way I can describe and answer this question, honestly. Somebody asked, can you go into detail about your endo journey? So if you guys don't know, endo is endometriosis, and I was diagnosed at 15, 16. Basically, long story cut short, I went to the hospital a lot of times for what they thought might be appendicitis or my appendix rupturing. Every single time I would get MRIs, x-rays, you know, IVs, I would get checked, I would get labs done, and everything came back normal and nobody knew what it was. And eventually my mom did some research online and she was like, you know, this is what I think it might be. Let's find somebody to see, you know, if they think this is what it is. So we found a specialist and we went to the OB, and she did a surgery, because the only way you can really diagnose endometriosis is by surgery, which is the sucky part, is that they can't just do it by ultrasound or anything. They have to physically go in to see if there's endometriosis. And she confirmed that there was, and she took a lot of dead tissue and endometriosis out. That was like early teens, and ever since then it's been medication after medication after medication. So the other thing about endometriosis is that it affects how painful your periods are. So my periods were so painful that we kind of had to end my periods with birth control. So I've been on like 5 or 6 different birth controls, 5 or 6 different actual tester medicines to like try and treat endometriosis, because it's not curable. And I've been on shots and medication and stuff for years, until I had a conversation with my OB about pregnancy and about, you know, wanting to really preserve and take my chances with fertility. And that's one of the scariest parts about endometriosis and getting diagnosed very young, is that no 15-year-old is really thinking about having kids, or when or if they can even have kids. You know, it's not really something on their mind. They're just like, okay, when I have kids, I have kids. But for me at 15, 16, it was kind of like, okay, will I even ever be able to have kids? You know, like that's not usually a thought for a lot of women until they're in their 30s. So yeah, that is basically my endometriosis journey. I can definitely do a whole video on it, but if I talk about this like start to finish journey, this would be an entire 45-minute long video. So if you would like me to go in depth about my endometriosis journey, then leave a comment down below and like this video so I know who's interested, and I will get that out to you guys. The next question is breastfeeding or bottle feeding. Love you. I love you too. I plan on exclusively breastfeeding for the first month or 2, but I am planning on pumping because I do want to be able to have others that are able to feed him. Like I don't want him only attached to me for feedings, at least not for a year straight. So I plan on exclusively breastfeeding while pumping, and then I will move on to bottles and pass it off basically to Xavier, because mama needs rest too. Somebody asked, but do you shave down there? How? Can you see? I've shaved twice down there. The second time being last month in December, and it was the worst experience of my life, and I would not recommend it again. I don't want to do it again. I don't plan on doing it again. I do plan on trimming before I go to the hospital, but I'm not going to be shaving again. You don't see. You can't see. You cannot see. I was literally in the bathtub with the shower curtain open looking at the medicine cabinet mirror that's like right in front of our shower, and I was just like standing there like feeling around. I was like, okay, I know where everything is. This is where I'm supposed to shave. But I was terrified, because if you nick yourself down there, worst feeling in the world. You kind of just go off of muscle memory and hope for the best. I don't know what it really looked like, because I was also 10-20 feet away from the mirror when I was trying to do it. But yeah, you don't see and you don't do it. Unless you have great muscle memory and you've been doing this for years and years and years, and you shave every single time you're in the shower, you're gonna hate that experience. The next question is, what is one thing you didn't expect from pregnancy? I would say the one thing I didn't expect out of pregnancy is what I said at the very beginning of this video, is how mentally draining pregnancy is. Like, you know and expect for pregnancy to be physically draining and emotionally draining because of all the hormones that are changing and surging and depleting, but it is so mentally draining to be pregnant. Another question I got is it hard being pregnant at your age? Do you miss partying and going out? I wouldn't say it's been hard being pregnant at my age. I'm 21. I got pregnant at 20. And then I turned 21 around 6 months pregnant, almost 7 months pregnant. And I wouldn't say it's been hard being pregnant. I think missing out on a 21st birthday was a bit emotionally sad and hard, but I wouldn't say that pregnancy itself has been hard to deal with at 20 or 21 years old. I mean, we've been in COVID pandemic times since 2020, and we're almost a full 2 years in, and I haven't really partied or gone out since. I think the last time I actually like went out somewhere to a party was 2019. Like, I honestly genuinely have not gone out and partied. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's been hard. I don't necessarily miss partying or going out because of pregnancy. And the next question is, what's one thing you craved? I haven't craved necessarily just one thing this entire pregnancy, but I'll just list off the cravings that I've had. I have craved McDonald's french fries, Dairy Queen food, Panda Express, vanilla ice cream, cake, Popeyes, crab legs. I craved pickles for a little bit. I think that really has been it. Honestly, the foods that I didn't eat much of before is what I craved the most during pregnancy, but they weren't unusual foods. They were just foods that I didn't eat a lot of before pregnancy. So the foods that I like loved and was obsessed with pre-pregnancy are the foods that I don't really eat anymore. There's nothing been crazy or out of the ordinary. I haven't had any like crazy mixtures or pregnancy food combinations. That has not been the case, but I really would love to try some pregnant women's pregnancy cravings because they have to be good. And this is the last question, and it is, are you scared of postpartum depression? I'm not necessarily scared of postpartum depression. I'm scared of the possibility of me denying that I have postpartum depression, if that makes sense. I'm not worried about getting it. I'm not worried about the possibility of getting it, but I am worried that when and if I get postpartum depression, that I won't admit to it and that I won't recognize it. Postpartum depression is very real and it is very serious. I want to be able to act on it immediately if I do notice those signs. And I think I'm more so scared that I won't notice that the symptoms that I'm having, if I do have those symptoms, are postpartum depression. And I know I've told Xavier, and I plan on telling obviously my family as well, that if they notice these signs in me, then I want them to speak up and I want them to be honest with me, because the best thing that I can do is admit to the possibility of having postpartum depression and go and seek help and get that help immediately and as much as necessary. So I think that is it for this video. I got a ton of questions, so I tried to answer as much as I could, but honestly there was just so much that I really couldn't get through this, or this would be like a 30-minute video. But if you guys are interested in another pregnancy Q&A, or even maybe a post-birth pregnancy Q&A, I'll be reflecting on my pregnancy and my birth, then definitely comment that below and let me know, and like this video so I know how many people are interested. In other terms, if you did like this video, then just go ahead and like it and subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell notification down below to be notified for any of my future uploads. And I think that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I love you guys so much. Bye!